What you are listening to is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in the squared circle. Both parties have agreed to dismiss their cases and have their disputes settled here in our forum, the Turnbuckle Debate.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Turnbuckle Debate. My name is Sneed.
I'm Tom.
I'm Mike.
And our special guest, returning guest, friend of the show, Kenny.
And I am Kenny Dinkins. What's going on, everybody?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm good. Glad to be back on this show. I have to say that I always love you guys' intro. I wish that you guys had like graphics because... You know, you see in the beginning, me and Mike was just like going, yes, you know. So, yeah, if we had graphics of like all this stuff going on, I think that would be like super awesome.
Oh, I know, man. I really do. Maybe we'll have to do that. Maybe that's something we'll look into.
I think we need it.
So this is, so we've all been here before, man. Tell everybody what's been going on with the call up, man.
So the call up has evolved from doing interviews. You know, I still do interviews and stuff like that, but I started to do more like indie talent interviews just to, you know, get more faces out there. I started doing like watch alongs on Mondays. So like every Monday, me and my co-host Toe, who was actually on here a couple of weeks ago from the Knuckleheads podcast, we teamed together to take on Monday nights. So basically we watch all 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, try to keep everyone awake at times if, you know, it is very boring at times. So we try to keep them awake, you know. So we do that every single Monday. It's been going great so far. We've been getting a lot of people to come in and actually, you know, join in on the conversations. It's like we interact with everybody, so we make everybody a part of the show, you know. Awesome. And you know, we stream it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok too. We just started doing that, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's always fun to get the crowd involved. Anybody that's it's always fun to get that live audience involved, man. That's awesome.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
Live shows like that, live watch alongs, they're a lot of fun. Well, that's awesome. If you're listening, you guys should go check that out for sure. All right. Well, I mean, I think we all know why we're here. I don't know if we should waste any more time. We should probably just get into it. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Good. All right. So our first topic of the evening, and I'm excited. Best Royal Rumble moment. So we have the Royal Rumble coming up, one of my favorite pay-per-views. Even though I'm not a WWE guy much anymore, I still go out of my way to always watch Royal Rumble. I love it. I think it's a fun pay-per-view. Kicks off the year. So, but there's been tons and tons of moments, and now we're going to talk. What is the best moment?
I'm going to pick my favorite moment because as a kid, one of the things I popped for the most was when Demolition Axe came out as number one, and they go to introduce number two, and you hear Demolition's music play again. Yeah. And they just beat the shit out of each other until Andre came running in and they beat up Andre. But just hearing the Demolition music twice in a row shocked me as a kid. I was younger back then. And it was just like, it was one of those moments I still go back and watch it. And I have the version with the real music. Yeah. I have to check that out. Like every year when it gets around to Rumble, I have to watch that.
I love it.
Yeah. That's a great moment, man. It's always, and especially as a kid, because you get to see these two tag teams that are, you know, they're a unit. You don't expect them to go at it. You watch these two, and especially with them because they wore the same gear back then. Tag teams had the same gear, so to watch these two guys go at it, like I do remember that, and that was pretty crazy.
Very crazy, super cool though. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop in. My favorite moment, and it's not Drew Carey. I know I texted that in the group chat earlier. Love Drew Carey. It was awesome.
If you wanted to, it's okay.
Exactly. But my favorite moment was Mick Foley coming into the Rumble 3 times. One is Cactus Jack, one is Dude Love, and one is Mick Foley. And
that's
it was
a great one too.
Who gets to come into a Royal 3 fucking times? It's about
3 different times, 3 different characters. Like that's what a moment. I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
they need to do that with this Royal Rumble.
Was that the first time Dude Love was seen? Was that the first time?
No. I think
he came out with Austin. Before that.
He had that feud with Austin. Yeah. Where he was Vince Daddy's big man. Oh yeah.
And for this one, for me, I picked 2 moments. So one is a very obvious one, and I think it's probably on a lot of people's lists. So I felt like I had to say it, but it's the 1992 Ric Flair winning the championship, and the promo afterwards, with a tear in my eye.
That's a great one.
Best moment of my life. What a moment, man, for him to come in and win the championship in the Rumble. I thought that moment was awesome. Like that, and I think that's kind of a given. But if I have to go with my favorite moment, it was when Batista and John Cena both got eliminated on the outside, and Vince McMahon comes storming to the ring.
I forgot about this.
He's
and messes
so
up his quads.
mad. Jumps in the ring, goes to stand up, and just crumbles like a sheet of paper. He just crumbles and sits there angrily pointing. Love it.
Oh my god, that was great.
What are the odds?
That's some freakish shit right there.
Yeah.
to tear both of them, not one, 2 of them.
Yeah, I think we
made match mentality.
Before we go on, do we have a run-in that was supposed to be on the debate with us tonight?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I got a text just now, and I didn't know if anybody else got it too.
You want to throw somebody out? I mean, we're totally okay with that.
Listen, it could be like WWE.
We might do a run-in.
You make a fatal 4-way, and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar comes in, and it's 5. It's
all right. What's your moment? Well, yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and move on.
Okay.
It's okay.
So I say my moment was the 97 Royal Rumble with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He goes in, he starts eliminating all these people. He's waiting there. The clock is ticking. It goes off, and who comes out? Bret the Hitman Hart. And they just go at it the whole entire time that they're in there. And then Bret Hart thinks he eliminated Stone Cold. There's a rumble on the outside. The refs don't see it. He runs right back in, eliminates everybody else, eliminates Bret Hart. He wins the Royal Rumble, and this sets up for like a classic match between Stone Cold and Bret Hart. That's like one moment that I absolutely love. Another moment I have to say is when John Cena came back from his injury.
Oh, that was a great one also.
Yeah, and
number 30, man.
Nobody expected this. Triple H is in the middle of the ring. He's doing his thing. The countdown comes, and all of a sudden you hear that, and then bam, and Triple H turns around and he sees John Cena, and the crowd just goes crazy in Madison Square Garden. That was like the best.
That was an awesome moment.
Was 97 the year Austin had the pager? And he was paging everybody, and he was just fucking bah, bah, bah. That was one of my favorite build-ups to a Rumble.
Because the year before that, he was in a Rumble, but he was in a Rumble as the ringmaster.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
It's good stuff. I love the pager gimmick, though. I thought that was one of the best build-ups. Like, everybody was like, "What the fuck?" Look at their pager. Austin comes like whipping their head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good moments. Like, there's so many surprise. Like AJ Styles coming.
Yeah.
Like him coming back or debuting. I mean, and then just one of my favorite things about the Rumble, man, is when we get old gimmick superstars coming in. Diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel came with like Kevin Nash comes out full Big Daddy Cool gear.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I love it.
You know, one of my other favorite moments was Hogan and the Warriors' first face-off.
Yeah.
Not expecting that.
Very
And
awesome.
there's just a little tease leading into WrestleMania that you're starting to build the match.
Hey,
J-Bone.
J-Bone in the house.
we are
Sad, man.
and we have a run in. What's going on, man? You're just in time. We're talking about our favorite. Not much, man. We're talking about our favorite Rumble moments.
Yeah. I kind of heard about that. I don't know what y'all. I know I'm kind of jumping in last minute here, but
it's your turn to give your favorite Rumble moment, man.
Yeah. So, of course, I don't know. I'm not sure y'all talked about '92 Rumble. That's probably my all-time favorite Rumble. But one of my actually, what I think is actually a better storyline in a Rumble is the '99 Rumble. I'm not sure if y'all talked about that one or not.
I don't think we have.
I love that the story with McMahon and Austin, and they start off the Rumble 1 and 2.
That was real good.
They finish it off, and then you have The Rock pull Austin over the ropes, and McMahon wins. I mean, that was some heat, brother. Some heat.
Big heat. Good heat. Good heat. God damn it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my top Rumble moments for sure.
Yeah, we've gone around and talked 92. I brought up 92, obviously. I think that's kind of everybody has to, the tear in your eye promo. But I had mentioned that my favorite moment was when McMahon tore his quads.
Oh, that's great. That's a great one.
What a moment. And what Rumble was it where the Mega Powers exploded?
Ooh. They didn't explode in a Rumble.
Didn't I thought they had a face-off?
It was a Saturday Night's Main Event, right?
Yeah, Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh, I could have swore it happened at a Rumble.
I think you're thinking of maybe Warrior and Hogan.
I knew.
Yeah, we talked about that moment.
They did, yeah. Could be wrong. It's first time for everything, man. I'll be wrong. I can be wrong. All right. I'm looking forward to this year. I think we're going to get some good moments this year, too.
I hope so, man. All this rumors with the Forbidden Door opening.
Yeah.
Some people popping up. We know Mickey James. It just means anything's possible. I'm excited.
I actually got breaking news right here for the Tavern debate. So Johnny Knoxville claimed himself eligible for the Royal Rumble. J-Bone has declared himself eligible for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, here we go.
I'm here for it.
If you need somebody to walk you down to the ring, by all means, I'm available.
I
can catch a fight right now if I need to.
We'll be there way too early, Kenny.
That's all right. We'll take in the city, get a good piece of steak, chill out.
Where is the Rumble this year?
I think St. Louis, right? Yeah.
St. Louis.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Man.
That's why they had to book that dome, so that's why they call old J-Bone,
I can't wait for that, man. Look at the big surprises. Forbidden Door. The Tavern and WWE kicked in the Forbidden Door. I love it. Wow. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, we can move on to the next topic.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. Now, our next topic of the evening, Kenny, this is the topic that you brought to the table. And has the Intercontinental Championship lost its purpose? And I'll let you kick this one off since it's your topic.
All right. So before this year or even last year came around, right, the IC title was like one of the best titles going in WWE. Like whoever held it, like when we had like Seth Rollins holding it, he defended it almost like every single week, no matter who it was. And then all of a sudden, they gave us this new looking title. AJ Styles had it for a little while. He was defending it great. Then he loses it. And then all of a sudden, it just starts going downhill from there. You give it to Apollo. He gives you a couple of good matches. Now all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura has it. And he hasn't defended this title and God knows forever. And then I literally, when I sent it to you, I was like, you know what? I got to make sure I get all my notes correctly, right? So like Shinsuke Nakamura won the title in August 13th, right? And then the last time we seen this title defended on TV was on a SmackDown, September 24th. Since then, this title has not been defended at all on TV since September of last year. The last time anybody seen an IC title match was November 10th on a house show against Jinder Mahal.
Wow.
Ugh.
So he hasn't defended this. He hasn't defended this title at all since November. They reported that he's dealing with a hand injury right now. But if that's the case, then let him give up the freaking let him give it up already, because God knows when he was with Rick Rude going down the ring on SmackDown, his hand looked fine to me.
It looks good when he's doing his entrance. It always looks good.
Like there's plenty of times where I'm talking to people now and people say like they don't even remember who the IC champ is.
It's true. Half the time I got to think about it because you don't even see him with it. I miss the days of 30 days you don't defend it. It gets it needs to go back to that. But
bring back Jack Tunney.
The Intercontinental title has lost its luster a long time ago for me. It's not just lately. Like back in the 80s and early 90s, it actually meant something. With all these titles, having a U.S. title and Intercontinental title, I feel like it's lost its luster a long, long time ago. And it's a shame because back in the day, with Macho Man, Steamboat, Honky Tonk Man, the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time, so many guys held it that it meant so much. And you got the Miz holding it like 100 times and so many other people. It just, I don't know. It's just, I wish it would go back to like less titles and not as frequently title changes.
Well, and I agree with you, Tom. Like, I think it lost its prestige when it stopped becoming a stepping stone for the heavyweight championship. Yeah. You know, back in the day, it went, at some point something changed and it went from being a stepping stone when you had people like Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Honky Tonk Man having these titles, Mr. Perfect, which he never went on. But I mean, I think at that point it was a stepping stone, and then whenever it switched to being more of a decoration title instead, and I always liken it back to, and I think you said it too. There's so many championships, and it reminds me a lot of boxing and how boxing has so many WBF, you know, all these different titles. And it just seems like once it started like that, it lost its prestige to me.
Yeah. I think I could actually pinpoint when that was. So,
all right.
Pretty much the last, in my opinion, this is of course my opinion, last really person that, now the Miz did a good job a couple years back holding it. He kind of brought it back a little bit, but when we're talking about from that generation, like Tom was talking about, till when it happened, I think that's whenever The Rock and Triple H had that match at SummerSlam. That was like the last like excellent Intercontinental match, and I'm pulling this up right here as we talk about. After that match, between October of '98 and let's go the whole next year. Okay, these were the champions. Ken Shamrock, Val Venus, Road Dogg, Goldust, The Godfather, Jeff Jarrett, Edge, Jeff Jarrett, D'Lo Brown, Jeff Jarrett, and Chyna. That's from that whole year. Now, look at
pretty
all
good pinpoint there, J-Bone.
Yeah.
Look at all those world champions, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, there's some good people in there, you know, but not world champion. You know, Jeff Jarrett, of course, became WCW world champion. Blah 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 blah.
But I don't think you necessarily needed to be a world champion after holding it. Look at Honky Tonk Man; his reign was so fun.
Yeah,
you know, and Ricky Steamboat. There's so many guys that had good runs that never moved. Mr. Perfect, another one. Another one.
Yeah, I think like the Attitude Era just diluted it so much. Yeah. And on top of that, you had the European Championship. You had, and that's what we see now. We have the European Championship, the Hardcore Championship, the Light Heavyweight Championship, the Tag Team Championship, and of course the WWF Championship. You know, so whereas before in the 80s and 90s there was just 3 championships.
That's what it should
Intercontinental, World, and World Tag Team. That's it.
The lesser is the better. I like to be able to remember who the last champions were.
Exactly.
And there's no way of doing that anymore.
If you have
WWE.
If you're running down the list of titles that are in a company and you have to take a breath while you're saying it, it's too many.
But
it's too many.
None as prestigious as the 24/7 title.
Oh my gosh.
So
which still boggles my mind as to why we still have this title anyway, and why Dana Brooke has not gotten rolled up yet, and just R-Truth just drives away in the sunset with this damn title already. Because we all know once they retire this title, it's gonna go to R-Truth. Like,
of course.
You know what? It's no longer called the 24/7 Championship to me. It's called the Championship.
Benny Hill Championship.
It's the Benny Hill music.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, and just like look at the what was it, SummerSlam '92, the Bret Hart British Bulldog.
Yeah, main invented it.
Yep.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it had prestige then. Like it meant something. That belt meant something. And then,
it did.
And I'll be honest, and I know this is probably not why. For me, when they went away from that design of the belt, it was over. When they
first time
oval, the oval belt, like when you change the design of the belt, that makes it lose prestige for me.
Yeah, and then who brings it back? The original design.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody brings it back because he has such a great mind. He just knew that new looking belt looked like trash compared to that one that Macho Man and Steamboat and Honky Tonk Man Warrior held.
And he had a little bit more flair to it. Even the front plate on it had some.
He had the texture. It was a textured design that time around. So it brung out that it brung out the design more. Like if you guys move this way, like if you see, I love the IC title. Like I literally have every single IC title that was made between WWF and WWE.
Yeah,
right? I just have like the best ones that I love.
Okay.
I have the other ones, but they're like put away. But like that one that Cody did when he brought it back and he put the white strap and he put the texture on it, that was like it was chef's kiss. Like I love that. What we have now is like it's so ugly. The only reason why I own it is because I need to add it to my collection of IC titles. Like it wouldn't feel it'll be so incomplete if it wasn't, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, Shinsuke just like they give up this title, maybe call somebody up and they can do something with it. Like instead of just having it out as a prop design, because that's what it looks like right now. It just looks like
what it is. That's what it's become. It's become a
but that's what all their titles are.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
It reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to do fig feds, and I would tape like 2 dimes and a quarter together on a piece of tape, and I'd be like, "Here we are. It's the new strap kit." Shit, just shit.
Kenny, what makes you such a fan of the Intercontinental Championship? Just curious.
I always loved the design, but I always loved the people who held it.
Yeah.
So like when Austin had the title, when The Rock had the title, and he changed the strap to like a dark purple, Val
Venis.
When Val Venis had it, when Goldust had the title and he changed it to
I love
to
Goldust. Yeah, that was cool.
I love just the whole design of it all, and they all had really great matches that you guys that you can remember. And
even Razor, when Razor,
Razor Shawn.
One of my favorite storylines was him and Shawn Michaels when they did the ladder match.
Yeah,
when Shawn left,
and they had
he was still the champ.
Yep, and they had 2 belts hanging above the ring.
Yeah, Shawn got suspended. He left. He was still IC champ. They did the tournament and Razor won, and then Shawn comes back with the title and says, there can only be one. And then we get that classic ladder match that everybody talks about, and Razor Ramon holds both belts at the end. And
it was a beautiful scene. Set the future. That was Razor was also one of those guys that never went on to win the world champion heavyweight championship after he was the Intercontinental champion. But
that's a crying shame too. By the way,
very
it didn't hinder his legacy at all, though.
Absolutely not. That was my next point. It solidified the Razor Ramon era, baby. It was good. Chico.
He was all about the money, though.
I don't know if you guys can see. This is one of my favorite moments, though. This was me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Me
that's
and
Razor. Bonerific right there.
I have one of those pictures too.
Which was an official. Oh, were you at that Starcast?
No. I actually have. I don't get my belt signed, but a friend of mine, he wanted his IC title signed.
Oh,
so
nice.
He was doing a signing, so I went there, and he was just like, "What are you gonna do with this?" I was like, "This isn't mine. This is a friend of mine." Because we was talking about the IC title the whole entire night that me and him was next to each other, and he was just like, after a while, he was just like, "How do you want me to sign this?" And I was like, "If you want to leave like a little message for him and put your name," so he did that, and then we took a picture with it. It was great.
See that belt right there? They was used in the photo op. It was one of Conrad's. It was an actual IC title.
Oh, nice!
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll throw that picture up on Monday on our Instagram, guys, so you could see it.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. All right. Anybody? Any final thoughts on the Intercontinental title before we move on to our final?
Make it relevant again.
Make it
relevant.
Make it great again.
Make IC title great again.
That would be ideal. But can we just get the old logo, the old design back? Come on, man.
I agree.
Yes.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
With a yellow strap. Let's do a yellow strap.
Ooh,
I'll do a
I
yellow
would dig
strap.
a yellow strap. Yeah.
All about it. All
We're
right.
here for it.
So our final topic of the evening was Tony Khan wrong for tweeting about the Big Swole situation. Now everybody knows the situation that happened. Big Swole came out in an interview. She had said some stuff about the company about when she left, and then Tony Khan responded publicly on Twitter. And there's been a lot of I think this is a good debate topic. There's a lot of opinions out there on it. So
yeah,
I say good for him. Like, it's about time people start speaking back. If she's going to come out and say stuff, he has every right to respond.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything. Like, he was just saying she wasn't a qualified talent to keep on the roster at this point. He wasn't attacking her. He didn't see anything. But live, Dynamite, tune in.
Yeah, just the ending. I mean, the whole situation itself, like when you look at it from that night and I guess days before, like leading into that night, it's just so weird. Because we start off in December and, you know, she announces she's not going to re-sign with AEW. She gives like this whole big speech about like how, you know, she was very grateful for being a part of the company. She's thanking her family for like, you know, her support and everything else like that. Tony Khan goes on media calls and says how great she is and how lucky, you know, they were to have her on the roster. And then all of a sudden, New Year's Eve comes and everything goes to shit. She goes and says what she says, which, you know, she has her opinions on saying it. A lot of people agreed with her. A lot of people disagreed with her. And then Tony Khan goes and, you know, I don't know if he was drinking. I don't think. I know a lot of you guys say, like, you know, good for him. And I would say good for him just for standing up for himself. But then at the same time, as being a business person, maybe they should have just took this offline. And it's on both parties, because if you felt that way, then you should have said that in the beginning of the month when you had your exit and you were letting everybody know that you were leaving the company and you wasn't going to resign. You know, don't praise somebody. It's like when you go out with somebody. I love her. She's the greatest. You know, I can't see myself without her. And then the minute you guys break up, you just like, yeah, I hated her voice. I didn't like the way she laughed. I didn't like the way she fucking chewed her food. She's a fucking piece of shit. You know, she's whatever. And then that, you know, she goes and says, well, like, oh, he was never good in bed. But then before, you used to tell them like they're the greatest person in the world. You know what I mean? They do everything with me. I think both of them are at fault in some ways, and at ways. This is how you felt. This is your opinion. This is, you know, you have every right to say what you needed to say, you know, on whatever platform that is. You guys are public figures to say it. But I think everybody else in the wrestling community took it way personal. Rather than to see
100%.
To see the bigger picture on things. So like, you know, she comes out and says about stuff, a little something about WWE and how like Cedric, you know, he's barely on TV, which is true. But like I said, like sooner or later his contract is gonna run out. So eventually Cedric's gonna leave. You know, like that's a given. I don't think he's gonna renew his contract anyway. He's already talking about, you know, leaving. And then she goes and says like her daughter doesn't see like herself in AEW. But AEW has like a diverse group of people that everybody and their mom could probably see somebody in themselves in this roster. Now, instead of leaving or instead of saying to yourself, I don't see myself there. My family doesn't see themselves there. How about you make that change and go up there? Because there's plenty of people in AEW right now, after I started looking at this, who are making some type of difference. Sean Dean is there. He's pulling talent from different indie places that he's seeing and going to Tony and Cody and saying, like, you need to try and put this person on, and then, talking to like other indie people who's been a part of like AEW. They all say the same thing. They go like, hey, my picture and my name is in their database. When they need to use me, they call me up. I fly out to wherever they need me to go for AEW Dark, and I do my match. If they need me for Rampage or Dynamite, that person is there. And Sean Dean is the one that's the person who's in charge of doing this. So like, and he's African American. So it's like, what else do you want? And I think that was my basic question. Because when I first saw the tweet, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset, but I was drinking at the same time. It was New Year's Eve, so I probably was like Tony Khan too, because I was tweeting a whole bunch of shit. I was just like, F Tony Khan and blah, whatever. And then I got sober and I thought about it, and me, I like to like check all the facts, and I just kept checking everything off, and I was like, okay, both of you guys were at fault for like many different reasons. I think you guys need to maybe sit down and hash it out and say to yourself, what can we do better? If you see there's a problem in your company, say something.
Yeah.
Or if you're not there anymore, so just say it.
I see her point, in some aspects, especially when she's talking about inclusivity, in the black culture and whatnot. And, because you look at WWE, the last few world champions, you had Bobby Lashley, Big E, Kofi. Last couple of years, they've had that inclusivity. As I see that point. But the thing is when you look at Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston and Big E, they, and if you compare to, let's say, even like a Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, those, Daniel Bryan, people of other races, it takes years for them to get to that level, to get to that main event level. Right now, AEW just, they have a lot of young black men and women in that position that they need a culture to get to that level, and they're getting there with your Dante Martins, their Powerhouse Hobbs. They're giving them Jay Cargill's. They're giving them that TV time, and I think that was kind of Tony's point whenever he initially made that, because there is that diversity. I feel. I mean, I think WWE and AEW do a great job of that. To be honest with you,
absolutely.
And it's important because wrestling as a whole was last couple probably until about 10 years ago was not that great. The only person you saw as a world champion were white men. So, I think so I see her point. However, just to your point, Kenny, I think she overstepped some bounds. I don't think she did what she needed to do while she was there. I think she's honestly trying to make a name for herself, because now she's kind of floundering, right? Yeah. Why would WWE pick her up? Why would Impact pick her up? She's got to make a name for herself. What better way to do that, right? To make some news. And I think good for Tony for lashing out, because I think people are kind of getting sick of this toxic Twitter culture world, where when somebody says something, well, you can be like, oh, well, let's cancel them. Let's cancel them. They said that wrong. Let's cancel them. No, Tony dug his heels in and, supported his business. I'll be honest. I had the same feeling this week with Ryan Barkin, Pro Wrestling Tees. This past week, he said some stuff in a private Facebook group, and he opens his mouth all the time. But you know what? I read what he had to say, even though I didn't agree with it. That's his right to defend his business. Yeah. So I just sat back. So
fair enough. Man.
As long as it's I don't think it's anything that's was wrong with what his statement was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the end with the tonight on go to tonight on Rampage. I can see why that rubs people the wrong way, but
here's my question: if he didn't take the shot at her saying she's not that good of a wrestler, and he just made the diverse comment, do you think he would have looked better and people would have had less problem with it?
I think I'm gonna say yes, for the simple fact that when she made her statement in the beginning, the first of the month of December, right? Yeah. And he was just like, she's a great talent, and we're gonna miss her and everything else. I was just like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, at the end, you go and you say, oh, well, she really wasn't that great anyway. This is why we didn't want to renew her contract. And it's not like you said it once. Like you said it twice that you really liked her. So now all of a sudden now you go and you say to yourself, nah, she wasn't really that great. Like
I thought he would have came out in a better light if he didn't take that little jab at her at the end and he just mentioned the diversity comment.
And that's what that's why a lot of people were upset. It was just like, why would you take that jab at her now? Yeah. And then
just let it be. Defend your company, defend the people in your company, but you didn't need to take that little jab. I get that.
And I get that, but it's a privately owned business.
Yeah.
This isn't a publicly traded company. And mind you, let's not forget, Vince McMahon almost beat up Bob Costas on live TV. Okay, you want to talk about people looking bad? Okay,
I mean everybody looks bad on TV. You know? One way or another, all of our heroes in the wrestling business is gonna look like shit. And we just got to give it up to Dark Side of the Ring for that one. It's gonna shine the light on everybody, sooner or later. And I'm just dreading when they start hitting more of the people that I love in professional wrestling, because I have a feeling that it's coming soon, and I'm gonna end up freaking breaking my TV.
Dark Side of the Ring's got to stay on TV, man. So they're gonna start digging.
The day they talk about Austin and they do a Dark Side of the Ring on Austin, I'm not watching it. I'm gonna protest it. And I'm gonna talk shit the whole entire time on Twitter. You'll definitely know.
Son of a bitch, Deborah.
Oh damn! I told you, give me another beer. God damn.
My one thing to add to it, and I agree with both of you. You guys bring up really good points, but I've never seen a main event level Big Swole match, nor do I think I would have seen one if she stuck around with it. So was he wrong to say she wasn't a top tier wrestler? I don't think so. I think he could have worded his tweet a little bit better, but it's like you said, it's a private owned company. Who the fuck am I going to say? And he's like, oh, that was bad.
He's protecting himself. He's protecting.
Yeah, don't do that, Tony. I'm not gonna watch Rampage tonight. Like it's just, it is what it is. Like
then he ends with the, hey, check out the street fight, and I'm just like, what?
It was a good street fight.
That was a little added level of petty. I like that.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, man.
Tony's not afraid to hold back. He sometimes it's better and worse.
I just don't like how people. One thing that really got on my nerves is like when people compared it to WWE. Like, well, WWE wouldn't have done that. WWE is very sneaky, and I think that's being shown right now with this MLW lawsuit right now.
Yeah.
All right, and now. Court Bauer is also a sneaky motherfucker too. Let's no bones about it either. But I like when people are like, oh, WWE's nice and wholesome because they do everything right. No, Vince McMahon almost killed Bob Costas on TV. He's trying to kill Phil Mushnick on TV. Anybody that's ever come after him, he's also like I said, done very, very shady stuff throughout his whole career in the territory business. So don't give me this bull like, oh, WWE is so professional and they wouldn't have done that.
Nope.
They've done the same. They've done the same thing, but worse.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Listen, AEW is the most diverse company. They even have aliens and dinosaurs wrestling.
But you don't like
Tom hates the alien.
I was gonna say
I love Chris Statlander.
Hate those goddamn.
I can't wait to get her figure.
I love Statlander. She's the best.
I love Statlander.
Kenny, most people do love Statlander. Now, if you look up in the top right corner, you'll see somebody that doesn't.
I do love her. She's always been one of my top females. I just hate aliens.
He doesn't believe in aliens.
Exactly.
Fuck.
I think it's a great gimmick. I think it's a great gimmick.
Technology and
I think she's great.
saucers. Bullshit.
I can't wait for the ghost. I can't wait for the ghost gimmick that's going to come out.
Galaxies.
It's Abaddon.
Oh, that's true. Zombie.
With a ghost eventually. It'll be a tag team.
I think we need more Abaddon, to be honest with you.
We do need more Abaddon.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anybody have any final closing remarks on the topic before we wrap up?
Don't drink and tweet.
Yeah,
that's kind of true, man. But listen, to my defense, it was New Year's Eve. Okay.
I mainly meant Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
I was about to say, because I was going off on everybody that night.
Awesome. Well, Kenny, tell everybody where they can find you guys.
So you can find me every Monday on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, wherever I'll be able to stream. I like to stream it. I do the Monday Night Raw watch-alongs with Toe. We start at 7:30, talk about some news, and then we go right into Monday Night Raw and try to entertain people for 3 hours. You can catch my show, The Call Up podcast, every Thursday, where I go over half the week of wrestling. And then most likely we're going to start up next week. We're going to start doing Thursdays. So we'll start doing Impact watch-alongs on Thursdays and try to get more people informed of Impact Wrestling and spread the word on that one. And yeah, and then you can also catch me doing Kenny's Corrections every Thursday over at the Run-In podcast.
That's a very hard job. So I feel for you on that. The Kenny's Corrections.
They bust my balls sometimes. If I don't bring anything, if they say like, "Hey, we didn't mess up at all," and I'm like, "No," or they'll put a joke in there. They're like, "Oh no, we can't mess up this week because Kenny's listening." I'm like, okay. And there was like 3 weeks where like literally I did not give any corrections at all, and I sent out a joke to them. I was just like, "Hey, did you guys fire me? Because I haven't done anything." Because like now, like Tom, he'll have his computer out, so he's like Googling this stuff as he's talking about it to make sure that he has it correct. But I hit them with like history facts, like, hey, this happened and this is the reason why this happened. But yeah, it's a lot of fun at times, and then it's stressful because now I have to sit there and like listen to the show twice, which is fine. I mean, I love those guys, but you have a million podcasts that I like to listen to, so it's
time is valuable.
I have you guys, I have them, I have Chick Foley, I have all these other freaking podcasts. So yeah, I don't think I listen to music anymore as much.
Actually that was one of my resolutions this year. So listen to more music, because every time I'm in the car, I'm listening to podcasts.
Same.
Unless I'm in the car with my wife, like I'm putting in a podcast from something. But what I started doing now is listening to other podcasts that are not like sports related. So it's nothing basketball, football, or wrestling. Like now, so like relationship advice or mental health stuff. It's what I mean? So
yeah, when I was growing up, I couldn't understand why my dad would always listen to AM sports talk, like on AM. I was like, why are we not listening to music? And now I'm doing the same thing.
And we turned into that guy. I had a manager that was like that. I worked for Benjamin Moore when I was younger, and my manager will always listen to sports radio all day. He would control it because it was his store, so he would control the radio, and we would just listen to sports talk from 7 a.m. to 6 o'clock in the evening. That was it. It was just that. And now I was just like, oh my God, we gotta listen to it. Like, I love sports, but I just don't want to hear it all day long. And now that's all I do.
I get it, man.
I get it.
All right. Well, Kenny, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it. We always love having you on. You always have a seat here. You know that. That'll wrap us up for this week on the Turnbuckle Debate. Tom, we'll go ahead and get it in early. Get all your stuff in, man.
The OG Fit Kid on Twitter and Instagram, and the Turnbuckle Sessions every Wednesday. Check out this week's episode. It's going to be a really good one.
Nice. I almost plugged me and you doing the Tavern tonight, but that's long gone now.
Last week.
You can go check that out. Last Thursday's episode of the Tavern.
Yep.
Check it out.
Great, guys. Have a good week. Court is dismissed.